say it. So I want to get this figured out.
It's usually of a sexual nature.
That's what I thought.
Well, let me get the definition here.
Rory, great shot. Your butt looks really hot in those pants.
Catcalling is a form of sexual harassment that occurs in public spaces.
That's catcalling, yes.
It can include verbal remarks such as whistles or suggestive comments.
Hey there, Toots, you got a good walk on you over there.
Hey, Toots, high five iron there on the fairway, huh? Hey, baby. Hey, Rory. Hey, listen, baby.
Just a dude with a hard hat with dirty hands eating a sandwich being like, hey, honey, how about you give me a little turnaround, huh? Full spin for the guys.
Yeah, that's what they were doing up in Boulder last week. They were catcalling.
Right, yeah.
In fact, can we start that being a trend in college football instead of heckling your opponent?
Tell them how good they look?
Yeah. Hang on.
Oh, God.
So, CU this weekend.
TCU.
They got TCU, but who's TCU's quarterback this year?
They just lost.
They lost to ASU. I forgot his name.
Can you believe the end of that game?
That was crazy.
It was a crazy game.
They were driving, they give it up, and ASU wins.
Hoover. Hoover's his name.
That's it, Hoover.
Hey, Hoover, I got a Hoover over here.
Hey, Hoover, you're about to give me a heart attack with that milkshake out there, buddy. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Okay. All right. Okay.
I think that's what we should start doing.
Do you have to do it in a New York accent?
Oh, of course you do.
Okay.
That doesn't hit the same. Hey, Josh, you look hot.
Let me find a really good name on this roster. Kavorian Barnes. That's the running back.
What do you think, though, guys, of a school getting fined for what a group of students did?
Well, what else can they do?
I'm just because schools get fined, right? In the SEC, if you run onto the field afterwards, they start fining these schools. You fine the schools because you got to keep your crowd in order. But how do you fine an institution? What if it's not the students? All I'm saying is what they said was pathetically abhorrent.
Yeah.
But what if it's not the student section?
Well, I don't know. It's sort
not
of the same
people
thing.
In the luxury suites. I mean,
well, how do you know? What if I bring that up?
It's sort of the same thing I feel, Moser and Vic, when Texas Tech is throwing, what do they call them? Tacos? Tortillas? When they throw tortillas on the field and their head coach grabs somebody and goes, stop throwing things on the field. Yeah. Because he was threatened with a 15-yard penalty if they kept doing it.
They're going to get a personal foul.
Is that fair that your football team's going to be held accountable for something you have no control over?
I'm not allowed on the text line, but let me read this text. I'm a BYU fan. I was at the game. This was not a small minority of fans. It was rampant throughout the stadium. I'm all for banter and trash talk, but when someone displays intolerance and bigotry, they become no better than the racist and haters. They cause the violence we see in the world that crossed an uncrossable line.
Okay, that's I totally agree with all of what you're saying. The question is, can you hold an entire university or football team responsible for something they have no control over?
Well, they just did.
Yeah, they just did. Who else do you hold responsible? What else can you do?
I don't know.
You know what they do in Italy? Because racist chants have been heard in soccer games in Italy. I'm very aware of this. Trust me. You know what they started doing? Fanless games. They started doing that. No fans allowed. Empty stadiums.
I'm sure the owners loved that.
But at what point do you get? You going to do stuff like that? You going to make a mockery of all this? You're not allowed.
Dude,
no fans.
If your fans get racist and hooliganish and they fight other people and they fight each other and what I mean eventually there has to be a hey man.
Yeah. I know.
Hey, CU you should be embarrassed.
Yeah.
You should, if you're a CU student today, you should be embarrassed.
This is what Dion had to say about it.
Let me mention this, and Rick might not want me to mention. I know it was an incident at the conclusion of the game or whatsoever. On behalf of CU, on behalf of our athletic department, we would like to apologize to our opponents from a week ago for whatever derogatory statements were made by our fans. That's not indicative of who we are. Our student body, our kids are phenomenal. So don't indict us just based on a group of young kids that probably was intoxicated and high simultaneously. Maybe I shouldn't have said that as well. But the truth will make you free.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
Just walk up there. Walk by the student section once in a while. You'll get high just walking by. So it's the truth. The truth hurts. At the same time, I do want to acknowledge, as bad as it is, I've been to many sporting events in the grand state of Utah. I've been to Nuggets games in Utah. They ain't no saints.
No,
everybody.
No, they are not.
They ain't no saints, all right? Utah, for those people that think that they carry themselves above others, the city of Utah, Salt Lake City, where those games are played, some of the things that I've heard, and it's not a chant, mind you, but it's just individuals saying things.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, I've been to NBA games there a handful of times. That's it. Heard some stuff. Now,
Sure.
It's a little bit more difficult when you're doing a hockey game and you're way at the top. You can't really hear anything. You can see things. Like that time that Minnesota woman with the blonde hair.
With a capital M.
Mm-hmm. And little, her jersey, the M was real big on her. Okay. Anyway, she started hooking and then spitting. Saw that. I could see that a mile away.
Well, it just goes back to, college environments, Boulder. Don't espouse tolerance and no judgment and then pull crap like that. You sound like idiots.
Just quickly here, I got something Broncos wise that I want to get to in a few minutes. Something I really enjoyed from the game over the weekend that I think could help as we push forth into this Eagles matchup. But first, I took in
Roxy, quit it.
Tell that dog to shut it, or I'll shut it. I took in a lot of baseball yesterday, and
oh, did you?
It's
proud of yourself.
Nope, just playoff.
Well, you sound like you feel good about you.
Just playoff sports.
I watched a lot of baseball too, and it was great.
It's so good.
Moj didn't watch any. So Moj, you can
Scoobles.
just sit this
I
out.
watched a
you
tiny
didn't.
bit.
You didn't watch anything.
No, you didn't
don't
watch
you lie
any
to me.
bit I watched.
No, don't
Just
you
shut
lie to
up.
me. You didn't do
You
anything.
didn't watch anything. The Cubs fans drove me crazy.
Dude, I turned on. I mean, listen, I watched a bit of every game. I also saw the first pitch to Ohtani that he hit to Calabasas, okay? And I'm like, this is over. And then what's his face in the bottom of the third hits a 3-run dong, and I'm tired of it. No.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say was you can feel the cheek clenching of playoff baseball because runs were really hard to come by and manufacture unless you were the Dodgers with Shohei or Hernandez, because those guys just turned it into a gong show for that late night. But it's funny. Aaron Boone makes the decision to take out his starter, and his starter's shoving. The second he does so, that's when Boston comes back and takes the lead that they don't relinquish. But I always find it fascinating because this is past the, hey, we're worried about pitch count stuff now, right? This is playoff baseball. Everything matters. It's do or die.
This is where you tell Max, hey, listen, I know you're dealing. You haven't given up a run. You scattered 4 hits over 6 1/3. If your arm falls off, it's not my problem. Keep going. Right?
They make the move to Weaver, and Weaver immediately gives up the lead. And I'm just saying, like, on the other side, Cora didn't do that. He left Crochet in until what?
Yeah.
Until
Until Chappie came in.
Yeah.
Crochet said it. Crochet said, you're not taking the ball until I give it to the final guy.
Yep.
Right. And it's just, I don't, there's no time now to worry about anything else. When your guy is dealing, that guy gets to deal until his arm falls off, okay? Or they start to tag him. But it's a massive decision in a 3-game series where you drop one at home and now you got to win 2 in a row.
You know, I was thinking about, what was it? Oh, it was Scooble, right? And I'm thinking, well, they were playing such important baseball against each other in the final 2 weeks of the regular season. How do you time out the start to be able to be okay that he starts game 1 if you have to use him? The most important thing is first getting in, right? And if you get in, then you just go with whatever you got or whoever's ready and that sort of thing. You can't worry about pitch count and guys' arms at this point because if you do, you could be gone. The Yankees lose today, dude. They're done.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
And 94 wins
crazy.
94 wins are out the door. Aaron Judge's MVP season, sorry, Cal Raleigh, is out the window. I mean, you've blown it. Because you took Max Fried out, He gave up 4 hits over 6 1/3, and they yanked him. And
Guys,
Weaver got tattooed.
There was a
So
day.
stupid.
And the youngins, you won't remember this, Brett, Nelly. There was a day when the NBA's first-round playoff series was a 3-game series.
Yeah, that's crazy.
In the 80s. I remember distinctly watching the Nuggets and Suns. A 3-game series. That's it. I like it. And I know a lot of you are thinking, well, wait a minute. I mean, you lose one more if you're the Padres, if you're the Yankees. If you lose one more, you're done. And I like it. I think it's fresh. I think it's, all right. Well, then you know what? Don't pull your guy after 6 when he's dealing.
Yeah. I mean, I know that having a one-off wild card game, what they did a few years back, was stupid, but it was fun. It was really fun. And I'll say this. Can I just mention something quickly? Cleveland is known as this amazing sports town, and it is. Like, they come out, they've had the crappy Browns they've had the crappy Browns forever, and they still get people to support them. I was in shock. Yesterday, Cleveland has this miraculous comeback to win the division, to get this home field advantage over the Detroit Tigers. They were 12.5 games back with a month left in the season. Overcame it, won. They couldn't sell out their stadium for the first playoff game?
Wait, it wasn't sold out?
There's like 9,000 empty seats.
You're kidding.
No.
Are you serious?
They didn't sell out.
Oh, Vic,
embarrassing.
hold on, Vic. It says the attendance was 26,186.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
Cleveland.
that's awful.
How is that possible?
That's embarrassing.
Well, the Braves used to do that. Remember, the Braves had one of the best
yeah,
teams
because they
in
went
baseball.
to the playoffs every damn year. They went to the
and they
playoffs
would never,
year for 10 years.
They would never sell out their postseason games.
Yeah, you're right.
And I'm going, what in the? I mean, they must be awful fans in Atlanta. Must be.
No, at Cleveland, you have no excuse, right? The Guardians fans, where are you?
Well, and
I can tell you this much. If you had a playoff game in Denver, Colorado, once every 20 years or whatever, you're going to get that sucker sold out.
Well, and I know what some will say is, well, it was the early game and it was a work day. You can't find 35,000 people to fill out your stadium? Really? Come on.
Hey, as we roll on here, I have proof that Robert Saleh listens to this program.
Okay, we'll get to that. I also got something on something really encouraging heading into this weekend from Bo Nix that we'll get to next.
Pick up on this.
So a couple things here, Broncos-wise. We'll start to look ahead here at the Philly game. There is one thing that I found really encouraging from Bo Nix's performance last week. The struggles the Broncos have had this year have very clearly been in their 2 losses, not being able to finish and close out games, which is an elite trait of the Philadelphia Eagles because they do this all the time. They have won 20 of their last 21 games.
Did it not used to be a trait of the Kansas City Chiefs as well?
That too. So you didn't get the chance to do the closeout or finish the game last week because Cincinnati wasn't good enough to try and stay in the game. But in the big plays that Bo Nix did make early in the game, 3rd and 5 in the red zone, Bo Nix takes off, runs, scores, touchdown. 3rd down, 12 seconds left in the half. Bo Nix, throw to Cortland Sutton, touchdown. And then late in the game, a 3rd and 5 inside the red zone again, and it is a touchdown pass to R.J. Harvey. They were 8 of 14 on 3rd down. They're really good in the red zone. I know it's not like finishing a game, but it is finishing a drive, which I think is encouraging heading into this weekend because that's red zone, 3rd down conversions are going to be necessities if you want to beat Philly. Mike for Vic there. Nelly? There you go.
Do you want to know somebody who's a Bo-liever, somebody who believes in Bo Nix? That would be the Eagles defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio. He had a couple things to say. I think we've got him, and Nelly will have it ready at your disposal. Let's go ahead and hear, first of all, what Vic Fangio had to say about Bo yesterday.
I mean, he's a scrambler. He's a competitor. You know, he'll throw the ball in tight places. He runs their offense really well. I think Sean's done a great job bringing him along. And they got their quarterback for the future. You know, they looked long and hard for many years, and I've got one.
I tell you what, Vic wishes he had a Bo Nix when he was here.
I'm sure he does.
He also made the comp during that press conference yesterday that Bo reminds him a lot of Baker Mayfield. At which point I texted Vic and I said, it's funny you say that, Coach, because a couple of weeks ago I said the same thing. And a lot of Broncos fans didn't want that comp. I said, why wouldn't you? Anyway, long story short, he thinks the Broncos are much better than their record indicates. He says the Broncos should be very well 4-0. And we've talked about this, woulda, coulda, right? And the difference between the Broncos and the Eagles right now, if you look at what the Eagles have done, they're 4-0. They've won every close game. They've had every opportunity to lose close games. They could have easily lost to the Rams. But what do they have that the Broncos don't? The ability to finish.
Yeah.
That is correct. But I completely agree with Vic Fangio, even if he hates hockey.
I doubt it.
To me, it's they're better, which is why I was so confident on Monday night, which is why I think it's going to be tough this weekend, but I'm so confident that they'll be 7-3. I look ahead. You guys don't have to do anything. But I think they're a good football team, and I think that they were going to figure it out. I think that Bo Nix is going to figure it out. And you're right, Brett. He's making these plays. He's doing these things in short amount of time, right before the half, so on and so forth. Again, it was that he throws the pick. Okay, big number, blows it off, comes right back. It's a 21-3 lead, and the game is over. I like that about him. We just need to see that at the end of games. If he did that in Philadelphia, that same drive at the end of at the end of the second quarter, if we can see him do that in Philly in the fourth quarter, my goodness gracious, then, Vic, anything is possible. Anything.
Can I ask a question here? I'm not even saying I believe this. I'm just tossing it out there. Because Vic Fangio is very smart. And Bo Nix presents unique challenges, but I don't think anybody confuses Bo Nix with like a top 5 quarterback in the league right now. I heard this story once from Aaron Rodgers that before a game, like midweek when he's talking to the media, he's got that media obligation as the starting quarterback of the team. He said that he would specifically compliment a corner on the other team. So let's just say he's playing the Broncos this week. He'd be like, and I got to tell you that Riley Moss is one hell of a player. He's an amazing, amazing young talented guy. And he kind of prop him up And he goes, I did that to fluff him before I was going to beat the snot out of him.
Who did this?
He's Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
He said he would fluff up one of the corners because he knew he was going to pick on him all day that weekend. And I kind of feel like Fangio is saying the things that you say when you play any quarterback. You don't think that Vic Fangio wants to absolutely demolish Bo Nix this weekend?
Oh, I'm sure he
as
does.
a bleep you.
Yeah.
Well, of course he does,
Yeah.
but I'm telling you, it is an authentic concern of his.
Oh,
it's
sure.
It's not just coach speak. It's not poor mouthing. It's none of that. In my exchange with him, he knows that this is a very good football team. In fact, he said, this is a good football team we're playing. And they're I mean, not going to say they're scared, but they're very aware. There's a reason the point spread is dropping, okay? There's a reason. Fellas, guys, the more I looked at this, and I said it yesterday, I said, I would not be shunned or stunned if the Denver Broncos won in Philly.
You might be shunned. You might be shunned.
Shunned,
could be
but
shunned.
I
You
wouldn't
could
be
be shunned.
stunned.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I mean, mild surprise, pleasant surprise, but I wouldn't be stunned. And why? Because I don't think Philly is as good as people think Philly is. First of all, they're 4-0 because they finish. But if you dig a little deeper, their defense isn't as good as it was last year. It's not.
And Jalen Carter's banged up.
Yeah, they're middle of the pack.
And Adoree Jackson is also banged up. I don't know what he's got, but I know that Carter he's got a groin.
Their offense.
You got a groin? Everybody got a groin.
Guys, their offense, do you know where their offense is ranked per yards per game? Do you know where they're ranked right now? Almost all of the stats offensively. Do you know where they're ranked total as an offense?
I'd say probably 25.
30th.
30th. There you go.
They've got the 30th ranked offense in the league.
Yeah,
Saquon Barkley's rushing total, not even close to what it was a year ago.
Yeah, let me tell you what scares me, though. A.J. Brown is not happy right now because he's not getting the football. Because Jalen Hurts, because they're doing other things. My fear is that he's going to have one of these get-off games. A.J. Brown is, and I don't want it to be this weekend. But you're right, Vic. I mean, I just know how difficult it is to go in there and win, period. Even if the Eagles were a middle-of-the-pack team, that's a difficult place and a difficult time.
What Philly does well, and the reason they're 4-0, every game's been close, but they don't panic when it's close. They understand how to win at the end of games. It starts with their quarterback. Jalen Hurts has yet to throw a pick this year. He doesn't give the ball away. He has yet to throw a pick. And when you are that decisive and you can make those decisions late in games, that's how you win in this league. That's how you win close games. You can't make dumb decisions late. That's how the Broncos are 2-2.
Why did my brain, when we played the Vic Fangio, when it started, why did my brain immediately go to The Joker by Steve Miller?
Your brain is going to be studied for many years, so I don't know. I don't know why.
Well, because he was going like, he's a scrambler, he's a passer.
Yeah, I was thinking like this. He's a scrambler. He's a gambler. He's a midnight rambler. Chicka-chicka-choo. That's where Nelly. You can't tell me that your marching band brain.
The fact
didn't
that
go
we
the same
have
place.
two music guys. Nelly's at the controls, and Moser. I don't know what. We can't get through a segment without a music. We just can't
play the
do
first
it.
thing again. Play the first thing again.
Because I want to play
we
something
can't
else.
get through a segment without a musical reference.
No, Moser,
What?
honestly, the first thing that came to my mind when I heard Vic Fangio speaking is I started to get Vietnam War-style flashbacks of when he was our head coach, and he had these boring-ass press conferences every day. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
Let me tell you something.
I like Vic Fangio.
I liked Vic, too. I thought Vic I'm going to say something that I don't think a lot of people
I'm
around
still
here
friends
would
with
say.
Vic Fangio. That's how much I like Vic Fangio. I text him all the time.
Well,
Vic would show up at Nuggets games by himself to watch because he's a huge sports fan. Huge sports fan.
But not
I
hockey.
like him.
Look at the text
But
line.
not
Ryan
hockey.
and CJ, everybody's jumping in.
Hold on.
Some people call him Maurice. I love it. Thanks, guys.
Well, I didn't know anything about him.
So here's what I'd say about Fangio that I don't think a lot of people are willing to say around here. Vic, you get a personal relationship with Fangio. I don't. I didn't mind Fangio's disposition at all. I thought, look, he's an old, salty defensive coordinator. That's what they all sound like.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of bull.
I thought he's a great coach. Like, I think if he was given a quarterback that was worth a damn, that this team would be really good. Like, under him, they would have had success.
Maybe, maybe he's Norv Turner or Wade Phillips.
But he had Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater to work with.
I do think he's a better coordinator, obviously, than he is a head coach.
Well,
and I think that's that he wanted to give head coaching a shot. He did. But if you asked him, what do you want to do? He likes what he's doing. He likes running defenses.
To your point earlier about Philly, and a texter says, are we really letting a win over Cincy fool you guys into thinking we have a chance against Philly this weekend? It's not so much the Cincy win doing that. Look, I'm like a lot of times I'll just lean on numbers and data to try and make an argument for me. And here's Schefter talking to, I don't know if this is on McAfee's show or just one of McAfee's guys having a podcast, but he said this about Philly this year. Listen.
63 players in the National Football League have more receiving yards this season than A.J. Brown. 63. 24 quarterbacks have more passing yards this season than Jalen Hurts. 21 players have more yards from scrimmage than Saquon Barkley. Jalen Carter has yet to have a sack this season, Ty. And the Eagles, in the course of the 4 games, have been outgained by 327 yards, which is the 4th worst margin in the NFL. So they're being outgained. A.J. Brown hasn't gotten on track. Jalen Hurts hasn't thrown the ball particularly effectively. Saquon Barkley is not running the ball particularly well. Jalen Carter still doesn't have a sack, and they're 4-0.
Because they know
they're
how to
unbeaten.
Win.
Okay, so that being said, Brett.
Because they know how to win. They know how to finish.
Okay, is that who the Eagles are now? I mean, that's who that football team is now.
That's who the Chiefs were last year. That's what he just described as the Kansas City Chiefs of 2024. Every game was close. Every game seemed like they were beatable, and yet at the end of the game, they won.
See, where my brain goes is that's not the Philadelphia Eagles. That's not the defending Super Bowl champions. The real Eagles are in there somewhere, and if they come out on Sunday, you're screwed.
No, but hang on.
That's the way I look at it. I know you look at it, hey, kick the dog when they're down, even though they're 4-0.
Mose, you're pretending that the Eagles at any point were a team that put 50 on the board every week.
I'm not saying that.
No. This is what the Eagles have always been. They were this last year. It's why people doubted them until they won the Super Bowl last year.
Saquon Barkley ran for over 2,000 yards.
Moj, they barely got by the Rams in the playoffs.
The Rams are friggin' good.
Hey, hold on a second.
What?
Nelly, I want you to go back and grab some tape from the playoffs last year and show me Moshe's super belief in the Eagles. It was widely discussed by a whole bunch of people, not just us, that the Eagles felt a little fraudulent because they kept sneaking out wins. You're like, this isn't going to continue when the playoffs start. And to their credit, they did. My point is this. They aren't some juggernaut that will waste you by 40 points. I suppose they could. They're certainly talented enough to do it, but that's not what they do. When you play Buffalo, you know you could be in for an ass kicking, and it's going to reflect that on the scoreboard. You play Detroit, you know you could lose by 30 or 40 points. It can happen. It just doesn't happen with Philly. And so
I totally agree, but everything Adam said, all those numbers, the deficits, and so on and so forth, that ain't Eagles football. They ain't that bad.
It's not that bad, but it's not all world stuff either. Jalen Hurts is still being talked about as like, is this guy really good, or is this just more like the team's really good around him? Like that's still happening because
it's a little bit of both.
Jalen Hurts isn't throwing for 5,000 yards. Is all I'm saying. So if you want to beat a team like that, we'll get to it in a second because I know how you can do it. Now, I'm going to say this on the front end. The Broncos are not as talented as the Eagles. They aren't. The Eagles, I think, from top to bottom, are the most talented team in the league. Now, the way they put that together, and this part of a larger discussion, Vic, if I ask you, are the Philadelphia Eagles the most talented roster top to bottom? What would you say to that?
I'd say that's debatable. I could list 4 or 5 teams that could.
But they're up there.
Yeah.
And that's why you always ask me what my deal is with Sirianni. This is what it is. How can you be this good and be eking out blocked kick victories over and over again as opposed to kicking the snot out of people?
Because somehow, I'm just saying, guys, the difference between the Denver Broncos and the Philadelphia Eagles is not talent. It isn't. Broncos are talented.
I think it's a little bit of talent.
I don't think it's talent.
It's a little bit of talent.
It's knowing how to finish. It's understanding that in the fourth quarter of a game, you can't throw a pick. You can't jump off sides. You can't have a false start. You can't do the little things that cost you wins. Philly understands how to win.
And I get the little things, and it's It's the reason why I don't think this game is going to be some sort of massive blowout or anything like that. But why I see a hard time in the Broncos winning the game this weekend. We'll get to it next.
Dan Caplis Law. You've heard of him. You know what he's all about. Dan Caplis Law wins big because it attracts world-class lawyers representing honest and courageous people from all walks of life. Dan Caplis Law is a serious firm for serious cases, accepting righteous injury and death cases on a percentage fee basis. If you need Dan's help, call the law firm today, 303-770-5551. That's 303-770-5551. Locations across the Front Range. Or hit them up, dancapleslaw.com.
I'm caught between two things here. One is I don't see Philly as this unbeatable, unstoppable force. It feels a lot like what I felt about the Chiefs last year, where I discussed like why the Chiefs aren't as good as they were beforehand, and people be like, "Oh yeah, well, what's their record?" And I go, "I know, but I watched them play. They don't look right." I'm not saying that Philly doesn't look right, but what Philly's done really well this year is when they need to come back, they do it in a hurry. Like when they were down 26-7 against the Rams, and then you blinked, and then the game was tied. It was it happened that quick. So the whole thing about this is, if I don't think that they're going to blow out the Broncos, then why don't I feel good about the Broncos game? Here's what it is. For you to beat Philly, you got to play a clean game, man. And the Broncos just don't. They did against Cincy, kind of. But if Cincy was any better, they would have capitalized more on the mistakes that the Broncos made with penalties and stuff like that.
Right.
It's the same thing as the Titans win. They won but the Titans just weren't good enough to capitalize on their stuff. So what do you got to do? You got to limit penalties. The Broncos commit a ton of them. They commit penalties like crazy. You can't turn the ball over. The Broncos have 6 already this season. It's one of the highest in the league. By the way, how many does Philly have? 1. You can't have special teams errors. The Broncos do this all the time. All the time. They should have had one against Cleveland. I still don't know how when Mims bobbled that punt, how that's not a turnover. That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
You can't be in the vicinity. You can't be in the orbit of the punt returner.
You can.
Not when you fair catch it.
There's no halo rule anymore. You can be as close as you want as long as you don't touch
You have
him.
to give him the opportunity to finish the catch.
To me, the opportunity was when you try and catch it cleanly and then you
I've got a
bobble
question about that, Vic. Okay, I'm going to ask you, Vic. You stay out of it because I'm on your side.
Okay, I'm out.
Hey, Vic.
Yeah.
Who's the best volleyball player in the world that you know, personally?
Karch Karai or Chris Marlowe?
Chris Marlowe, okay? Let's say you have Chris Marlowe back there fielding punts, and he calls for a fair catch, and he goes, bump, bump,
Yeah.
bump.
Can you not touch it?
Bump.
And he
then
pumps it all the way to the end zone?
Then he finally catches the football. Nobody can touch. I mean, dude, if you bobble
That's
that maw,
insane.
if you bobble that maw, you want to get your blank ripped off.
I think there's some subjective ruling
you're
there.
subjective.
I think there's some common sense that would apply.
That was a pretty big hop off his hands, is all I'm saying. Anyway,
If the ball hits you and then goes airborne, it's free game.
I think the exact same way.
Let me also thank the wonderful.
Well, then you change the rule because that's not the rule. The
Well,
rule stipulates you have to be given the opportunity to finish.
Turnovers. They've returned field goals for touchdowns. That's how they're getting. That's how they're getting points. But the other thing is just a few more quick things. The reason why I don't feel good. You have to be good on third down against them. The Broncos were great last week. They're not good at this so far this year. Maybe it changes now. I'm not going to buy that yet. And then you have to capitalize in the red zone, which also the Broncos struggle with. Like all of these different things that you need to beat a team like Philly, the Broncos just are weak in those areas.
Did you mention turnovers? Philly's +3. The Broncos are -2.
Yeah. Philly's turned the ball over one time.
They're Broncos -2 in that department. The fact they're 2-2 is pretty good. The other thing about, again, and this is why I see both sides. I understand where you're coming from. Their schedule, Philly's schedule, has been tougher. Just been a tougher schedule. They've played some offensive juggernauts. Dallas defensively sucks, but that's a tough offensive team. The Rams, tough offensive team. Buccaneers, they've beaten better teams by and large than the Broncos have. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would completely agree. If you want to get into this game on Sunday, as of right now, 3 bills to get in. Just to get that's the get in the door price. That's crazy. I'm just saying, dude, they're playing below their own expectation in terms of overall numbers and so on and so forth. And they're still capitalizing on every single mistake that you make. Watch out. To me, they're still a very scary football team. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yes. I don't think anybody's saying they aren't scary. The whole thing is if you play a clean game against them, you got a shot. Like, you can win. They aren't some unbeatable force.
Well, everybody in the entire league is that way.
Nelly.
You play a clean game against Buffalo, you can win.
Nelly, can we find, to join us on the show, either tomorrow or Friday, a Philly media person with a very deep East Coast accent? That's the only one that we can have. I don't want somebody that's normal. I want someone that's a homer. I want someone that's way out there.
I golfed with a guy named Dino from Philly the other day.
Would you take Merrill Reese? Because I have his phone number.
Before we get to our...
Hey, where's Spike? Wasn't Spike in Philly?
Yes, I think he's back there.
We got canned in New York? What happened?
I don't know, but I think he's back at Philly. I'll take Spike. Let's go.
Oh, God.
We'll talk to Bednar here in 10 minutes. Mose, you wanted to talk about Robert Saleh.
Yeah, Robert Saleh clearly listens to this program. Because, do you remember what he said to Liam Cohen on the field the other day?
Well, we don't know what he said on the field. We know what he said.
Oh, we know what.
No. Somebody quoted it. He said something about, "I will bleeping end your bleeping life."
Wait. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
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 But that's
and
not what
keep my bleeping name out your bleeping mouth.
But that's not what he really meant, though. This is what he really meant.
Your intent after the game to seek him out and sort of explain to him what you just explained?
The intent was to say exactly what I just said, that, I think he's doing a really nice job, which I do. That football team is playing and taking on his personality. They're playing violently on the offensive line, and their running backs are running really hard. And I think they're doing a really, really nice job. And I just wanted to let him know that I appreciate the way he's going about his business with his football team.
What was really said?
He said I was just genuinely trying to give him a compliment.
Well, he said,
dude, come on, man. I think, is that tongue in cheek, or is he trying to gaslight us all?
That might have been tongue in cheek, but what he said was, I was trying to pay him a compliment that it seems like they're sign stealing. And I think maybe that's genuine.
Okay.
He said I phrased it poorly. He did say that.
Well, you sure did.
Yeah.
You blank and mother blank with your blanky blank.
Hey, let me tell you something right now.
Hey, Vic.
Take one look at Robert Saleh.
I don't think you want to
Top
mess with
5
him.
guys I don't want to fight in my life.
Yeah, and next thought is this.
Liam Cohen, I'd square up.
Vic, what is so wrong? Why is it considered verboten to publicly say, yeah, I don't like the guy?
Well, that's fine. Let me explain.
But why do these guys go out of their way to diffuse it after the fact? Like,
maybe they'll have to work together someday. I don't know.
If you don't like somebody, if you disagree with somebody, why are we so cautious at just saying it?
Do you remember?
I don't like you.
Do you remember last week when I was talking about that thing that was on your face right there?
Yes, you didn't like it.
Okay, hold on. What you don't understand is I was actually paying you a compliment. How it accentuated your upper lip because you had this thing growing out of your face. You probably didn't. Maybe it didn't come out right at the time.
Yeah.
And I want to apologize because I was actually just trying to compliment you on your new look.
You know how I always am irritated by you annoying me with just dumb thoughts? I'm not complimenting you.
Robert Saleh definitely has some holes in some drywall in his house.
There's no doubt about it. Hey, Brett.
Hang on.
Wait,
Top 5 coaches right down the league, and I know Saleh's a cheat though because he's a coordinator, not a head coach. Top 5 coaches you wouldn't want to fight:
Mike Tomlin,
Dan Campbell,
Vrabel,
Campbell, Tomlin, Saleh, and
I'll fight Pete. I'll fight
Tomlin's
Pete
in the
Carroll.
category. I don't know if Tomlin's in there.
I think he's old man strong. That's my fear.
Bust you.
Hang on, but I'm trying to find a top 5 here.
Well, would you fight McVay? I wouldn't.
He'd bust you up too. That dude's bench pressing 300.
Yeah. Hang on. So Campbell.
How old is Todd Bowles, Nelly? You're a Todd Bowles expert.
Todd Bowles. Fine. He's old.
You got to find some old guys. Then I'll
Vrabel,
say
Pete Carroll,
Campbell.
Okay, I could absolutely.
Wait. Is this talking to the guys that you would take? Wait, we did this in the NHL once, and I go, Bruce Boudreau. I was doing the thing.
Would you do
that guy's face? I'm just like, just one punch.
I mean,
Todd Bowles is 61 years old. He's going to be 62 in November.
I might take my chances.
Like Andy Reid would be a tough out because if he got a hold of you, you're done. But if you step in, jab, run.
He can't catch you. He couldn't catch me.
Hang on here.
D'Amico Ryan.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, D'Amico Ryan's for sure.
I feel like I could take McDermott, kind of. Maybe I couldn't, but I feel like I could.
I'll tell you what. If you want to put an old
Dan
guy,
Quinn wears his hat backwards. I don't trust him. He'd probably eat
old
me.
guy strength. Dan Quinn. I think I'm leaving him out. I'm not doing that. I mean, the guy I probably most want to fight. McDaniel?
Yeah, probably McDaniel.
Right?
For sure. Little guy, thin.
There's some nerds who got some game.
Yeah, but if Brett got him on the ground, he'd never get up.
Oh, I wouldn't want to fight Aaron Glenn. I don't think either.
How old?
Aaron Glenn can still move, man.
Yeah, he's not super old either.
Okay, so Mike McDaniel's got to be top of the list.
No, it's
Pete Carroll. Yeah, it's Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll for sure.
I mean, that's elder abuse. Then again, Pete Carroll probably kicked my butt, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't fight either Harbaugh.
No. Jim Harbaugh comes across as that guy that you can just bludgeon him and he doesn't feel any pain.
Exactly. Like he's got like blood dripping down his mouth,
Yes.
and he does this move.
Yeah.
Like licks it
Because
all
it's
up
his
and
eyes.
like
It's
just
his eyes.
loves
He'll,
it.
He'll take the glasses off like this and lick his own blood, and his eyes are doing the Harbaugh eye thing.
Hey, somebody give me some milk. I'm gonna take care of this.
Attacking with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind.
Anyway,
Get to the coach.
yep. Let's get to Jared Bednar. First chat with the coach. Of
I'd
this
fight
brand
Bednar.
new-
Let's go.
Yeah, we'll ask him that
Yeah.
next. All right, we will be joined by the head coach here shortly as we head into a brand new season with giant expectations with the Avs. Jared Bednar will join us in just a couple of minutes. I just saw a piece of audio. I showed it to Moj. We were just talking about coaches we could fight. There at the press conference yesterday in San Francisco, Vic, Kyle Shanahan was asked the question, how many coaches could beat up Robert Saleh? And his answer was just one. He said Dan Campbell. He thinks is the only one who could do it.
Let me ask, why are you so fascinated by that? Because you've brought this up many times before.
I don't know.
Do you have like an urge to fight?
Yeah, it's like you want to go fight. You want to go fight a football coach. Well, Sanford will be here in a couple hours.
We could set it up.
No. I mean, when a coach says to another coach after the game, I will bleeping end your bleeping life. I mean,
at the LA Kings, it's already been taken. It's already been taken by ESPN.
So 2 more preseason games is all I'm asking.
Taken by ESPN.
So 2 more preseason games is all I'm asking. 1 more week of this preseason stuff, and then
that is correct.
Then we go.
You realize that next year, as of today, right now, we'd be into the regular season. It starts the 29th next year. The regular season does.
Well, and with that, we'll head up to the Ramos Law Hotline. Car accident, you need Ramos Law. Medical doctor and attorney, ramoslaw.com. We are joined, as we will be all season, on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock by the head coach of the Avs, Jared Bednar. Coach, how are we doing this morning?
Doing good. Yeah, doing good. Little light on sleep, even though it was an early game. This is kind of the first game of the year that we had close to a regular start time, and early morning, getting in, breaking it down before tonight's game, back to back. But it's all good. Yeah, just preseason's moving along here. Things are going well, and teams looking good.
Yeah. One pressing question as we head into this brand new year, and I know you've been asked this a lot. Vic said that he can take you in a fight. What do you think about that?
I'd say that's highly unlikely unless he has some sort of special training that I don't know about.
Well, I would bring a weapon.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, he was not an Army Ranger. I can promise you that. Okay, so you have to worry about it. Hey, we were just talking about your first goal last night, and again, I know that you have a lot of guys, and you want to save guys, and so on and so forth. But listen, man, when I see a perfectly executed 2-on-1, when I see Ross Colton throw it over to Jack Drury from Malinsky, right? I mean, doesn't that do your heart good, no matter who it is, a perfectly executed 2-on-1?
I think, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it even started before that, like just some of the things we were talking about stylistically on how we want to play. And so that puck's moved north by Malinsky, and then I love the play that Brindley makes on the wall. He's not going to – the D's leaning down on him on the wall, taking away all his time and space, and he just, counter pinches the D and gets a piece of the stick so the puck goes by, and the other 2 guys were blowing out of the zone. That's playing fast. It's playing north, and then to kind of slow it down and execute on the 2-on-1 was fantastic, especially, for me – because it's Colton and Drury, and right now that's our third line mix. Who's playing center, who's playing wing. I like Drury in the middle hole, and I like to leave Colton on the wall. And it's 2 guys that could be a big part of our third line, so to see them connect and create a little chemistry early on is really nice. And then they go get another one later as well in a real nice ozone play shift. So. Really good showing from those guys, and that was part of our evaluation process and putting them together in this game and seeing if they can kind of find that chemistry that we're going to need going into regular season.
Coach, you don't have much room on this roster, understandably, but are there a couple youngins that you've seen so far in the preseason that you look at and say, hey, this kid may help us? He's surprised.
Yeah, no question. So I've liked a lot of showings from our guys. Some guys I didn't know well. Some guys are new to the organization. But for me, in kind of 2 different roles here, we got Bardakov in a trade from Jersey a couple of years ago. He's a pro. He played in the KHL for a few years. He's a big, heavy, strong, competitive centerman. I got him as sort of your prototypical 4th line guy and hopefully one day 3rd line guy, but solid checker, heavy, like goes through people, plays through people, both on the forecheck, like offensively, defensively, likes to get to the net front, plays in all the dirty areas. And he's had a good start to the season, Bartikov. Like he's finding a way to get on the score sheet. He's heavily involved. And then on the other side of it, smaller, faster, good motor guy in like Brindley. And he's a competitive guy who has a lot of skill and makes a lot of plays on the offensive side of it. He's part of both those guys' goals last night, the Colton and Jury line, plays with good players. I mean, he's found a way to get on the score sheet every night. I think he's got, he had 3 goals going into the night. He's in on a bunch of scoring chances again last night, and he's building his defensive game. And I think he sees our lineup and says, okay, well, if I've got to play in the bottom 6, it means I got to kill penalties. He wants to do it. He's doing a nice job of it over the course of the preseason. So we just keep putting him in all kinds of different situations and see how he reacts, see how he plays. And he's a confident kid, so he's having a really good showing so far as well.
Coach, the league has changed over the years. And it used to be if you were a smaller guy, man, you had to be Marty St. Louis. You had to be Paul Correa, right? You had to be Theo Fleury to be able to flourish in the league, but maybe even stick in the league in a certain role. I know Brindley isn't the biggest guy, but this guy's a hockey player, and he produced at the World Juniors, and he produced in college. And I know that may be a numbers game right now, and he's still a very young guy, but how will a guy who's 5'9" and $170 but is a hockey player, how does he now make it to the National Hockey League and have a long and awesome career?
Well, number one, I think it's making the most of your opportunities to start. So he has a terrific resume and track record as an amateur. Turns pro last year. He had an injury that kept him out for a while. So it's a little bit of a rocky start. Played the American League. A little bit of a rocky start to his pro career. He's coming to a new organization. I know our guys, scouts, DMac, everyone really liked him in his draft here. We just couldn't get him. And, now he's here, and it's about continuing kind of to build that resume as you move up into the next level. So now he's coming in here and playing, preseason games against half rosters, and he looks fantastic. Looks like an everyday guy, no question. Looks really good in practice. The moment's not too much for him. He's not intimidated at all. He's going to continue to go out and play his game. That's kind of in his DNA, confident kid. And, you just keep getting put in situations like this, and if you continue to excel, then, he's going to make it really tough to be putting him someplace else. And if he has to go down at times because he's a young guy, he can. And obviously that would be a lot of puck touches and a huge roll down there. But if he's with us, it may change a little bit. But you want to make sure that we're going to continue to develop this guy to be the best player he can be long term. And right now, we're really excited about him, the way he's playing. And I just hope that continues as we play. Probably what we'll see tonight in Vegas is the toughest. We've played home games, so usually teams in exhibition send a weaker roster, evaluate guys on the road under tougher conditions, and then when they get home, they play some of their guys. We're a little bit opposite this year because we're going out on this road trip. So it's going to be, I would guess, mostly NHL lineup tonight from Vegas and from us, and we'll see how he does in that game. And then, we'll probably see something similar in Game 6 at Dallas. So, it's a never-ending, working on yourself and trying to develop yourself, and you learn along the way with the experience, and he's off to a good start.
Head coach of the Avs, Jared Bednar, with us, as he will be every Wednesday. Now that the season is kicking off, and Coach, you said at a press conference recently that this feels a lot like 2022 to you. How much of that has to do with, for the first time, and no disrespect to anybody that was here previous, for the first time in a while, it feels like your 1-2 punch at goaltender is really solid, and you have confidence in it?
That's part of it, no question. I think that it's just multiple factors, right? So the goaltending, right? It comes down to me to depth, which is also related to health. after 2022, we lose a bunch of guys. You just can't fill them all in one off season. Guys go sign lucrative contracts other places. It was great for them, and we were sad to see a lot of those guys go. And then for the last couple of years, if you look into the finer details of it, you've got, Val missing a bunch of time. You got Landy out. And those are two pretty big cap hits for our team. And then it puts the cap in a situation where you can't really replace them because maybe they're coming back. And so you're playing a little light and you're lacking depth. Last year, injuries with Lekkinen and Landy, Val, Taser at the start of the year, like you're
your power play look?
Well, it's going to be different because, like every coach has a little bit of a different message and what they like to stress, what they feel is important. Ray did a heck of a job for us here for years and decided to make the change and we hire Hack. He's an experienced guy. I love the message that he's kind of sending for our guys. Like he does it, like Ray did. He does an analytical deep dive. We look at things. We've talked as a staff. We've talked as a management group all the way from Joe to Chris to me. And then like Hack's taking in all the information. What did we really like about our power play when it was good? What we didn't like about it when it was poor? What does the analytics say? And then what do we want the messaging to be, right? So Hack's really dove into that and he's addressed it with their guys and will continue to over the course of the season. And it's about, not just skill and perimeter, but also using some of our strengths. Like guys with Lecky, Val, Landy, our net front presence is really good. We can get super dangerous in there. We can cause chaos in there and create all types of rebounds, deflections, screen opportunities for our guys. And we got elite shooters with Mac and Kale, Olafson, Brock Nelson on the flanks right now. So we're gonna try to get it to be a mix of not just the skill and pretty plays, but that we're getting a little dirtier, like when it comes to scoring goals and making it hard on teams' net front if they want to get out on our shooters. And our guys are like kind of bought into that right now, and we're seeing a bunch of those types of goals in practice. And tonight will be the first time we kind of can put all of our veterans in and see it in game situations. So it'll be a work in progress, but it'll look a little bit different, and a lot of things will look the same as well.
Coach, I'll tell you, the beard can still get it through when he's running that second unit. That puck to the front of the net for those deflections is amazing to me. But speaking of, you just brought him up, and this is maybe the last time we'll talk about it because he's back and he looks normal and he's just a human being. But what does it mean to have Gabe Landeskog just back on the ice, around the team all the time? Obviously, you want him as a player. You talked about it, up and down the wall, winger hard to the front of the net. But I don't know, Coach, he looks fantastic to me. What do you say?
Yeah, no, he looks great. Yeah, he does. And I was expecting that after the way he came into, it surprised me the level of play he got to when he came into the lineup. Like he missed the start of the series, trying to get as much time. He plays the games with the Eagles last year, and then all of a sudden he comes in and the impact was incredible. So I was expecting to be really good after, talking with him in the summer and discussing how he was feeling. Everything's going great. So as a player, it's great to have him back. As a person and as a leader, his impact is immeasurable. It's just, you're talking about one of, if not the best, like elite leaders in our game right now, and to get him back in the room and just like all the areas of the way our team thinks, our culture, our leadership, like the impact he has is incredible, really, and the respect he has from our team. So it's like we're noticing changes like just in our room and attitude, and it's, I don't want to say it's all Landy, because like you go through things like we did last year, guys they're back in a really focused and present place right now, and but he's certainly helping that, and it's just really exciting. It feels like he never left already, and we're still just like in kind of week 2 of training camp.
Coach, before we let you go, just one other thing. I know that you guys keep track of things happening around the league. I want to know what your first reaction was when you saw the Kaprizov contract.
Well, I was like, whoa, that's a big number. This is kind of happening quickly, with the way these salaries are going. I mean, if you look at, Draisaitl signed, I don't even know how many months ago, and he got 14. That's a pretty darn good player. Mikko Rantanen, the same thing. And then you look at the Kaprizov deal. The one thing I'll say is, you need star players to win. And he's certainly a star player, and they're like an up-and-coming team right now. They just, shed a bunch of like dead contract stuff that they had from guys previously. So they have the money, and they need those types of players to win. And so, like, you got to get it done. So every team, I don't think you can compare every team's like situation. They need him. He wants a big number to stay there, and they have the room to get it done and build their team accordingly moving forward. So, but I do think you're going to see some of these big contracts come out with where the cap is gone, and he's kind of like the first big one to drop right now, and I'm sure there'll be a bunch of other guys kind of follow suit here in the near future.
I just thought of something, Coach. Do you realize that you're the longest running professional coach in Denver, Colorado right now? Man, you're old.
Hey.
Some days I feel old, some days I feel young, but yeah, I did not know that, but yeah. I mean, it's like in our profession, I mean, it's crazy times, right? In all sports. Like I saw a study this summer that someone put out about, average, term, like with the team and through like, football and hockey and in basketball, and it's crazy low numbers, right? Like you're signing coaches to 3, 4, 5-year deals, and 2 years in, 50% of the league is changing their coaches out. So to be able to be here this long is certainly a blessing and a privilege. I love the people I work with. I love our players, management, in the city of Denver and the state of Colorado. So just keep trying to win and hopefully be here a lot longer, but it is a blessing and certainly enjoying every minute of it.
I mean, he started out by saying he wanted to fight you, and then he finishes up by calling you old.
Yeah.
He's
asking for it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going
not
on
old,
here.
sophisticated and mature when you're in your job that long. That's what he is.
Well, we're trying.
Yeah, he's basically saying, catch these sophisticated, mature hands. You keep talking that way. Coach, you're the best. Glad to talk to you again. We'll talk to you next week.
Good luck tonight.
All right, thanks, fellas.
It is head coach of the Avs, Jared Bednar. Now will join us every single Wednesday at 8 o'clock again. I love these Wednesday chats with Coach.
Yeah, I looked it up because it was Michael Malone who started, I believe, the year before Bedsy started here. So now Bedsy is the longest tenured professional coach in Colorado.
Well, he's the second longest in the National Hockey League now.
He's got to be one of the longest in sports.
Who's first in the NHL?
John Cooper.
Oh, that's right.
And the great thing about today.
Okay. All right, so.
What's great about today is that it's not yesterday.
All conversations with the coach are brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing, proudly rooting for Colorado's hockey team.
So this will be his 10th season, correct? 10th season. I'd love to know the numbers. I'd love to know the stats. How many professional coaches make it to double digits in years? What would you guys think that number is? That
what percentage?
What percentage?
2%.
If maybe five max, probably 5% max.
Man, that's crazy when you think about it that way. What job has that low percentage to make it 10 years on the job outside of radio?
Radio's quick, typically.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, radio's similar percentages.
I don't think the people listening quite understand like how long our shows in the station have been together, and there's been a few changes.
How rare that
it's crazy how long these shows
Well, I'll
have
tell
existed.
you what, dude, if you don't get the break, we're going to be a casualty. Let's go. I can see it now.
I dare you to fire me.
The bald guy's coming in to yell. Here we go. Guys, low testosterone is not the end of the world, but it's also not great. I had it, and it was not very fun, I suppose. I mean, you're not sleeping well, you're not feeling strong, you're tired, you're a little brain fog, off your game. That could be a sign of low T for you. I got treatment at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and you can do the same. Get back to feeling like yourself, guys, mid to even late 30s, you lose 2 to 3% of your testosterone production every single year. And before you know it, you're just like, I don't feel the same. Well, the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic can help you. They've been here in the Front Range for a decade, successfully treated tens of thousands of men, all the way from Fort Collins down to Colorado Springs and in Castle Rock. That location is all revamped, renewed. It's fantastic. And, of course, every single place has all the experts you need to take care of you. So do yourself a favor. Get back to being you. Better gains in the gym, sleeping better, much, much more. Give them a call. 720-440-7900. That's 720-440-7900. Or go online at RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
So, I looked it up. The longest tenured coaches in at least American sports right now. Mike Tomlin is, I believe, the leader in all of them. He's been there for 19 years in Pittsburgh. John Harbaugh has been in Baltimore for 18. Andy Reid for 13. And then you have Spoelstra, who leads the way in the NBA. He's got, I don't know the exact number. It's over a decade, though.
Keep going.
And then, yes, John Cooper and guys like that. The question was guys with 10 years or more.
Does hockey has to have the quickest turnover, though, right?
It feels like it, Vic. Hockey is incredibly quick, although
baseball's been pretty quick too, man.
Lately, yeah. Ask Tom Thibodeau, though, how the tenure goes. That guy, every 2 years, that guy's someplace else. Ask Pete DeBoer. Every couple years, gone.
Well, those are the kind of...
Torts.
Yeah, but those guys, the guys you just mentioned, they have a little bit more of abrasive personalities that wear thin quicker.
That's
agreed.
True. Can you guys name, just by the way, random trivia stuff? College football head coaches, longest tenured.
Well, Gundy was up there before he got canned.
Who's that? Yeah, Mike Gundy was
I'm
there.
talking
20 years.
So
right?
I got a list of the top 13 of all time.
Of all time?
Oh, God. Bear Bryant.
Paterno
leads the way 46 years.
Right. Bobby Bowden.
Bobby Bowden second on that list, 34 years.
Where's Bear Bryant at Alabama?
Not on the list.
What? Well, that's because he died.
Don. UW coach Don Jones. What was his name? Don James. Don James
on there?
No.
Don James is not on there from Washington?
No.
What?
No.
Hold on, let me think about this. Don't try to speed me up.
Yeah, shut up.
Shut up a second.
Third all time was the coach at CSU.
Oh,
Sonny
Lubick?
Nope.
Woody Hayes was 28. Oh, yeah. Frank Beamer was 29 at Virginia Tech. Wow. One of my favorite photos in the history of sports. Frank Beamer, I think was it a 0-0 tie? And he's leaving the sideline with his hands raised like this. Melly, find a picture and pull it up behind me. Just say Frank Beamer tie, and then show me the picture that pops up. It's one of the funniest things ever.
Yeah, it was Virginia Tech and Wake Forest 0-0.
0-0 tie, and he's celebrating like he won the Orange Bowl.
They called it the toilet bowl. Hang on a second, I gotta see this.
Because I think, who was the end?
It was Wake Forest.
Wake Forest, I think, missed a field goal at the Horn, and he was like, yeah! That's the funniest What a game.
2014. Wait, that was regulation, but hold on. Wake Forest beat Virginia Tech 63 in double overtime.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Okay, but regulation, yeah.
0-0.
Hey, so the Cleveland Browns just announced that Flacco's going to the bench and they're starting Dylan Gabriel this weekend. Flacco's going to be number 2. Shadour's still number 3. My question to you guys, what are we doing here?
I don't know.
If you're going to bench Flacco, why not just move everybody? Why bring him back? You've already said, you said it, right? By benching. So if you've already said this ain't going to work, why is he there?
Dylan Gabriel starts this week. He gets hit in the pocket, has a high ankle sprain. He can't go for a couple weeks, right? Which, from most likely to least likely, happens. 1, they go back to Flacco. 2, they start Shador. Or 3, they start Bailey Zappi, who's a practice squad quarterback.
Wait, Bailey Zappi's on their practice squad?
Yes.
They just told you what they're going to do because they've retained Flacco's number 2. So go back to Flacco, which leads me to ask 2 questions.
Wait,
what are they doing?
Bailey Fazee.
Bailey Fazee, yes.
So what are they doing? And if that's the case, why even have Shador around?
I don't have an answer to that. I don't know.
If something happened to Gabriel, either he stunk or did get injured, and they didn't go to Shador, I think the fan base would freeze.
Well, they're not going to Shador.
I know.
Just said it.
I know.
Flacco's number 2.
Then you have a problem because you're going back to your problem. I don't know. I don't know.
Before we get to a break, can I play something for you? It's from Sean Payton yesterday. Now, I have a theory. You know me and my theories. I got a theory on why he responded this way. But he was asked about the tush push. You're playing against Philly. Okay, you're going to get some sort of, some amalgamation of the tush push is going to happen this weekend. We all know this, right? It's going to drive us nuts. It's going to be 30 short or something. They'll do the tush push. They'll get it. They'll piss us off. Or they'll line up for the tush push and then turn it into like a 50-yard touchdown. So Sean Payton was one of the few that wanted to keep it. And he gave an answer as to why. Listen.
Yeah, listen, I was one that stood up in favor of it. The reason I stood up in favor of it is pretty simple. The power to be the coaches.
He's had some run-ins with that league office in the past, as we all know. I really think it's not beyond him to be like, oh, you guys don't want this to happen? Well, guess what? Here's a pro vote. And he probably doesn't much care about the tush push because Philly's the only team that runs it, and I know they're playing this week, but it's not in their conference.
Oh, contraire.
Yeah, other teams have tried it.
Pittsburgh ran it the other day.
Not to the extent that Philly does it, is what I'm saying.
Aaron Rodgers standing in the shotgun, and they just run the push to the short snap, and they just run the tush push, and he's just standing there like, and you see those on the line? That's pretty funny. People are funny.
I do give Sean Payton credit for supporting something that doesn't directly benefit him. Not many coaches would do that. He doesn't gain anything by supporting that. But vengeance.
He gains, a bleep you to the office. He does get that.
But from a football standpoint, they may run it against it. I'd love to hear what he says, though. What if Philly runs it 8 times on one series to score the game-winning touchdown? I'm just curious to see what his response would be.
This is what I want. Like, in my perfect world, anybody who thinks this play is okay, I want them to play Philly, and I want Philly to run an entire drive of just tush pushes. And you tell me if you think that that's football or not.
Well, DJ Jones was asked, how do you stop it? And he says, in not so certain terms, go grab your cojones and level up.
Yeah, Vic, I'm not sure it's stoppable even in that regard. I don't care how many things you grab.
What he said.
I don't care how many body parts you're grabbing when you're doing it. You know what? Just to prove a point, Brett, God, I would, if I had 3 wishes out of the genie bottle, and one of them, I would use one of them that Sirianni, actually, they got it, let's say it's a punt, and it's down at their own 2. So they got a 98 yards to go to the end zone. And you push your way all the way down the field.
Push. And tell me if that's the same sport that we're playing.
I would pay $100 to see that.
Anyway.
You're so right, though, because everybody says, well, it's just a football. No, because let's say you ran one football play down the field. Let's say you ran a bubble screen all the way down the field. People would say, wow, how dumb is the defense? They couldn't figure out the bubble screen. But if you ran a tush push all the way down the field, you're sort of not blaming the defense because you can't stop it.
There's also penalties every time they run the play. Like, guys are lined up over the football. Have you guys seen... There's a rule in football. When you are about to snap it near the center, the ball has to be here. On a tush push, the ball's underneath his chin. It's like you're already offside just by where you're holding the football.
If you're not going to enforce the rules, then they're going to continue to play like that.
When we return, more Broncos, plus When you've been coaching as long as Sean Payton has, you can start to see trends within his coaching career. And there's one that I think is really important that we'll get to in a second. But the Jets lost again over the weekend. They're now 0-4. I guess Aaron Glenn was heard screaming at his team in the press room when media reporters were waiting for his post-game press conference. Breece Hall is a running back for the Jets. Pretty good. He had this to say after they lost. Nelly, hotkey. Hang on 1 second. Here we go.
Just a tale of, 3 out of our 4 losses. Teams will shoot ourselves in the foot, and we come back and shoot ourselves in the head. So
these teams shoot themselves in the foot, and we shoot ourselves in the head. Is what he said, which is
fairly graphic, but probably also fairly accurate.
Yeah, I mean they really do. They're given opportunities. I mean, think about that. They shoot themselves in the foot 2 weeks ago. The Jets block a kick and house call it, and you're like, oh my God, they might win the game, and immediately give up the game-winning touchdown.
Goes right down the field, and they give field goal. Right down the field. It's a pretty interesting way to put it. Again, here we are getting ready for Week 5. Already Week 5 in the National Football League.
And this speaks to the trend I want to get to, Moj.
Well, you've got a trend? Because right now, this is where teams start to, okay, are you serious or are you a pretender? I mean, where are you? Again, Kansas City's win told me they're starting to get serious after 3 weeks. Week 4, they got serious against Baltimore. Broncos got serious against Cincinnati, so on and so forth.
According to AI, Sean Payton's record in the month of September over his career is 27-26.
So he's always off to a slow start. And then they get it going.
His record in October is 47-16.
So it takes a while to digest the playbook. And once they do, here we go.
Yeah, does it just take the offense like a month to get it together, and then they start to find a rhythm?
Maybe. I would also say for this year, if this trend continues, the schedule sets up much better for October than it did in September. I think last year's the same story. I can't go back to all those Saints years, Vic, obviously, but it helps them out a little bit. It helps them out to have these teams that are under 500 lined up on your schedule.
More data necessary. I'd love to know, like, offense versus defense in that first month. Is the offense way behind the curve? I don't know. I don't want to get all nerdy about it. The record's the record.
Let me dive deeper into AI mode real quick.
Please do.
Chappy-Chi?
Chappy-Chi? I had Chappy-Chi write an essay that I delivered to my family over the weekend. I actually made use of it.
Wait, you wrote an essay to your family? What'd you say?
I just wrote this. I just wanted to illustrate the point how daily exercise can help mood and mental health. And because I had to give them specific reasons why. So I had ChatGPT come up with those reasons.
Number 1, get off my nerves. What are you doing?
Well, I didn't have the time nor the means nor the... I didn't want to research all the data and the science, but I know there's scientific evidence. I know it exists, so I said, ChatGPT, do your thing.
Is that why we're in such a better mood nowadays?
Let me ask you, I mean, you're a case in point as homeboy researches this. You've been waking early. Are you in a better mood overall than you were maybe a month ago?
I am until 7 o'clock, yes.
Okay. I'm telling you right now.
And then I see your face again, and then...
and people say, why do you want to exercise so much? It's not about the body, it's about the mind.
No, honestly, I think the mind follows the body in that 100%. Regard. Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Yeah, I can't find your deeper dive, stuff like that. Yeah, I can't find that anywhere as far as like what the numbers are. Can't do that. I can tell you this though, they're just much better in October than they are in September, and it looks like it just takes a minute for things to get going. The one thing I guess to keep in mind is he's really good in October, he's really good in November, and then things start to slide back a little bit once you get towards December and January, where they're above 500, but not nearly
again,
as good.
I wonder how much of that, back in the day, the Saints were in a good position. Do they have some giveaway games on purpose?
or not playing anybody because they don't need to win that particular game. I don't know. I'm just trying because most of all, and not every year, but the Saints were pretty damn good for his tenure. Okay.
Are we having some? I'm getting a lot of texts, gentlemen. Old school rotary phone calls sound clearer than your internet broadcast today.
We don't have control over YouTube and Twitch, guys. Sorry.
Well, fix it. Fix it.
Who are you talking to?
You're there. Fix it. Let's go. All we have is our signal, and if we don't have our signal, we don't have a show.
Our signal is absolutely fine.
So fix whatever's.
It's some
fix
internet thing that's I don't know.
It's on the internet. I don't do the internet. I do a radio show.
We'll get Chappie on.
Speaking of the internet, because everything's fresh nowadays, right? Do you know how frustrating it is to try to go? Oh God. This is okay. Throw the old man crap out there. I don't care. But my whole thing is internet now, right? And to go from okay,
my whole thing is internet.
What do you mean by your whole thing?
My TV thing is all internet based. Okay, so I gotta go to the app. I gotta find the app that actually has TNT on it that I pay for. So then I do some watching the apps, right? But then they go to intermission. Okay, well then I'm gonna go back to the baseball. Then I've got to completely get out of
We've talked about this.
I gotta go what?
We've talked about going back and forth from app to app.
It's just life now.
And then
it's
the
a
little thing
complete
turns
nuisance.
and turns and turns while it's thinking.
No, it's a life changer. Nelly, you have no right to play that because he's right. And it doesn't affect just old boomers. It affects everyone.
I just want to go from one channel right to baseball.
You're exactly right.
Instantly. I don't want to have to.
Instant.
It's a 5-minute load.
I totally agree. And you know what I don't want to hear?
I
don't want to hear this crap about.
Well, is it Mark? Is it Bear? Is it Brooke? Who is it? Well, why do you need to know who's watching my TV? Maybe
you know
my
what I
wife's
don't want to hear
watching
either.
baseball. Screw you, TV.
I don't want to hear when people say, "Well, just add this to your HDMI." I'm not an engineer.
Well, you know what, TV.
I'm not an engineer here. I'm not going to take my TV apart. Just give me a button.
It's none of your beeswax if I'm watching baseball, my wife's watching baseball, or my daughter's back in town watching baseball. Why do you need to know that?
You guys act like there's no way to do this anymore.
Okay.
I have DirecTV. I have previous channel buttons. I have all that.
Yeah, but what happens if you have to go to Amazon Prime for Thursday Night Football?
Well, that's
now what, sucker?
That's different. Most said TNT.
Okay, but there are going to be instances. Hey, what happens when the NBA? Hey,
remote and everything for it.
Hey, what happens when the NBA starts giving you the nuggets on Peacock?
Well, then for that night you get a Peacock.
Okay, and let's say you go to Peacock, and now you want to go back to TNT, and you want to go back and forth. You want to.
Well, for that 2 hours, you can't do that.
Okay, I realize. Why? Why can't you do it? Why can't you make a television that allows you to go back and forth quickly?
Hey, dude, when I was a kid, and you had to stand up, or actually, we had clickers back in the day. But when I was really little, you had to go across the room and actually turn the knob to get to another channel.
That's quicker than today.
That's 1,000 times quicker than today. I know I sound like an old guy.
You get your little brother to do it. But little brother always was in charge of changing the channel.
Hey, Lance goes, Granddad's Happy Hour. Hey, Lance, you know what? I'll tell you what. Lance, I'll tell you what. You got a job, Lance? Hi, I'm Lance.
Yeah, Lance, why don't you figure it out? You sound like you're on top of it.
Lance at the 2113. I'll tell you what, brother. I'll pay you $5 an hour to come to my house and be my personal TV boy. How about that? I tell you what I want, and you zip around with all my 87 remotes and all my friggin' Wi-Fi. That's high speed, by the way. And you just put on what I want. How's that sound, Lance?
You're so right, Moj. I'm so glad that I'm not the one that just introduced this dilemma because it's persecuted us for now a couple years. And I can't believe all these nerds who invent this stuff. Not a single nerd out there can invent a button that goes from app to app without any pause, no delay. Just boom, 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 boom. It's on you. It's on the young generation. It's on the nerds inventing things.
He says you don't need sports. It's not a boomer thing. I'm only 42 and I agree. You guys are ready to drop this many times over. I'll tell you what, I'll split it between you and Lance. I'll give him 250 and you 250. You two stand next to my TV. Each have remotes and you just go flipping around. And I'll throw you a free beer from time to time. How's that sound, James? Hero? Oh, look at me. I'm James the Hero.
This answer doesn't work for me. I don't want to hear this crap either. This was from somebody in Aurora. Oh, guys, you can simply do this by streaming on a tablet and just alternating apps. I don't want to watch on a tablet. Okay? I got televisions. I got 13 TVs.
I know. Why am I paying for TVs if I gotta have a... Oh boy. Is it Costco the other day? You can get like a movie screen for $100. It's insane.
Well, you know why they're selling so cheap now? Because you can't use them. You can't go alternate between apps.
I now have 4 TVs in one spot. I don't possess.
Well, that's what they're forcing
because
me to
each
do.
one just stays on the same
Well, that's what
channel.
I have. I have a 3 TV setup now in my office where you just got to do that.
You gotta leave it. Do you wanna know my previous channel button? You know what I do? I do this. Slightly turn my head.
Right, exactly.
Previous channel.
No, but
Previous channel.
Here's the problem. You know
Previous
what?
channel.
We provide a service. Our service is every day to communicate sports, entertain, infotain, whatever. That's our service. There are a bunch of you nerds out there whose service is give me these buttons. Figure it out.
It's like that. It's like, well, why do you need to know which member of the family's watching right now?
Got all these engineers going to Colorado School of Mines over here. It's supposed to be the best school for the bang for the buck. Enough of the petroleum engineering. Somebody figure it out.
A reason to believe that the Broncos will do well on Sunday, and a reason to believe that they won't get the next week.
abandonment, abandonment, winning it.
I love the Black Keys.
You know what's so funny, though? It's so funny that I was so confident and calm about Monday night against the Bengals. I predicted a total butt whooping, and it panned out that way.
Mm-hmm.
And you were the opposite. You were both like,
no, I thought they'd win.
Let me do it.
I thought they'd win too, but I didn't.
Good for you.
I thought it would be a
anticipate
waxing.
that.
I thought it would be a waxing. But all I heard from you was,
It's the NFL. You never know.
Well, what if I told you that I believe that the Broncos have a very good chance at winning this Sunday?
see, I am not there. I was.
What is very good chance?
Yeah, what's very good? What's your percentage?
I would not be drop dead stunned if they won this game.
Okay, that's not
The
very
good chance to win is like 80% chance to win.
Yeah, 70,
what do you mean very good?
Chance?
40% chance, which was a lot better than what Moser's giving him. Moser sounds like he's giving him a 10% chance.
Yeah, maybe. I'll tell you what, if somebody said there's a 40% chance of rain today, I'm thinking it's raining. If Vic says it's a 40% chance of win, I'm not thinking it's winning. I just know how difficult this is.
Look,